Do you find the dispute resolution process intimidating? Are you stumped as to how to draft a dispute letter? Do you have a hard time deciding what to do, when to do it, and how to do it? That is true for the majority of people. 95% of people can repair their credit without paying a credit repair company. In this video, I'm going to show you how to dispute the items on your credit, get them removed from your credit, and wipe it clean. Stay tuned if you want to learn how to do it in 3 easy steps. Let's get right into it. Now, for those of you who aren't sure what disputing or a dispute is, let me explain. A dispute is your right as a consumer under the Fair Credit Reporting Act and FTC laws to dispute something on your credit report. As a consumer, you have the legal right to complain if you believe it is incorrect or misleading, but most people are unaware of how to properly exercise this right. Inaccuracies in your credit report can occur for a variety of reasons, including identity theft or simply because it's just incorrect. In many cases, correcting these issues will help you improve your credit score and repair your credit. And you may be able to eliminate inaccuracies, late payments, collections, and other issues as a result of this process. The first step is to pull your credit report, also known as a credit check. By law, you are entitled to one free credit report from the government each year. This is their gift to you, and it is your right as a consumer to access your credit report at annualcreditreport.com. You won't get your credit score, but you will receive your complete credit report from all 3 bureaus. The government does this so that you can review your credit every year to see if there are any inaccuracies or things you need to keep an eye on. Take advantage of this opportunity and request your free report. It's something you get every year for free, so take advantage of it. Okay, now step 1. The first step is to obtain a copy of your credit report from each of the 3 credit bureaus: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Okay, so in step 1, you want to make sure you have a copy of your credit report in front of you, and you want to go over everything on each credit bureau's credit report thoroughly. Inaccuracies or delinquencies are the things you'll be on the lookout for. So if you see late payments on your credit report from a creditor that are incorrect or you want to dispute, circle or highlight them. If you notice that a creditor has the wrong address for you, has the wrong name for you, or has the wrong account for you, this is extremely important to note. Whatever you need to do is highlighted. That's significant because these are the issues you'll be disputing. While you're doing this, keep an eye out for late payments, collections, or any other type of delinquencies. You should look out for any judgments, tax liens, or any other items that aren't accurate or that don't belong to you. Because if you have accounts on your credit report that don't belong to you, you could be a victim of identity theft. As a result, these are the things you should be on the lookout for right away. Step 2. The next step is to write to the credit report company and tell them what you believe is incorrect. Because I know many of you are unsure of how to format your dispute letters, I've included a sample dispute letter below. When I say put it in writing to the credit report company, I literally mean write it down along with the reason. I want you to do this because there are so many templates and other resources available on the internet. I'd like you to use mine as a starting point. If you want, you can even write it down. However, these credit reporting bureaus have the technology that allows them to scan documents for plagiarism, or if something appears to be similar to another dispute letter, they will dismiss it or not take it seriously. As a result, double check that you're writing your dispute letter by hand. Also, I do not recommend disputing something online because you will not be able to speak to someone. If the credit company verifies that it is correct, or if they decide to keep it or not change it, if you only go online, you won't be able to read anything. As a result, I recommend writing your dispute letter by hand. You should also include copies of documents that back up your claim. So if a payment is marked as late but you know it isn't, include a payment receipt or payment confirmation providing you paid it on time. For example, if you were experiencing major life disasters such as floods or hurricanes, or something slipped through the cracks for some reason or another, you would provide documentation such as FEMA documentation, just documentation showing that you lost your car and belongings, and various other things to support the reason why you were disputing it. As a result, I always recommend providing some sort of documentation to back up your claims of inaccuracy. The complete names and address, as well as the complete name and address of the credit bureau with which you are disputing your letter, should all be included in your dispute letter. Each item in your letter that you are disputing should be clearly identified. The facts should be stated, and you should explain why you are disputing the information before requesting that it be removed or corrected. So, state the item, explain why it's inaccurate, and tell the credit bureau what you want them to do, whether it's to remove the item entirely or correct it. Make sure you're clear about what you want them to do. You could also attach a copy of the credit report with the specific item of inaccuracy circled. This will only benefit your case. Consider it as if you were an attorney presenting your case. You're presenting evidence and documentation to show why what they discovered to be is incorrect. And you're explaining why this is so critical now. You should send your letter certified mail with return receipt requested so that you can prove that it was received by the credit reporting agency. This is critical because once you dispute an item, it becomes extremely time sensitive, and I'll explain why later. Keep copies of your dispute letter and any documents you attach to it as well. Credit reporting companies are required by law to investigate your complaint within 30 days. They must also send all relevant information you provided to the company, creditor, or organization involved. When the creditor receives the information you sent to the credit bureau, they must investigate and report back to the credit reporting agencies. If they confirm that the dispute is valid, they must notify all 3 credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, so that the dispute can be corrected on your credit report once the investigation is complete. By law, the credit reporting company is required to inform you of the results. They are also required by law to provide you with a free copy of your credit report if something on it has changed, so that you can see what has changed or been removed if something was corrected on your credit report. You can request that the credit bureau send a notice of the correction to anyone who has received your credit report in the previous 6 months, which is a little known fact. So if you applied to an auto loan and were denied, possibly due to an error on your credit report, the credit bureau can notify the company of the correction at the time. They can reevaluate your credit report in your application, and with the corrections, you might be able to get approved this time. You can also request that the credit bureau notify any employers who have obtained your credit report in the previous 2 years. You have the right to dispute it again if the creditor reports to the credit bureau that the information is accurate and they disagree with your dispute. This is where your patience and determination will be tested. Step 3 is to dispute it again if you are unable to have it removed or corrected. If you have additional evidence or documentation, this will assist your claim in determining why the dispute was denied, and if there's anything else you can do to make your claim more valid, you can do so. Otherwise, just dispute it again. After the 30-day period, you must closely monitor the time frame from when the credit bureau receives your dispute to when you receive the results. If they do not provide you with the results within 30 to 45 days, you have the legal right to get it removed. This is crucial. I'm going to repeat that again. If they do not provide you with the results within 30 to 45 days, you have the legal right to get it removed. This is a tactic used by many credit repair companies because the company may not want to spend the time investigating the situation, especially if it's a collection. That means they have to go back to the original creditor and investigate what the original creditor has to investigate. There's a lot of back and forth, a lot of investigation and paperwork involved, and sometimes companies just don't have the information or just don't want to take the time to provide it. And that's how you can get disputed items removed from your credit report. So that's pretty much the whole point of disputing. You can dispute up to 3 times, and I found that disputing 3 times usually results in something being removed. If you haven't been able to get it removed after 3 attempts, you may want to consider getting it settled or paying for a delete. People exaggerate the complexity of the situation. Really, all you're doing is pointing out things on your credit report that you don't believe are accurate. You're proving your point with evidence, and you're sticking to it. If it doesn't work, if you go through all that and it still doesn't work, at least you know that you tried. That's really all there is to it. The entire dispute process hinges on your willingness to put the effort, knowledge, and determination. And that's it for this video. Comment, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.